We can't, Deki. We can't.
Has to end there.
We can't.
Look, it's starting. The show's starting.
We can't.
I told you. I told you. Theatrical performance is beginning.
You're gonna have to split this up. Oh my goodness, there's still more new characters. I actually love her design.
This is you if you're continuing.
This is what?
If you want to continue, this is you.
So what type of character is this?
This is Beatrice.
Wait, this is Beatrice?
This, like, the old sprite, well, even this sprite is Beatrice's base design with just, like, a new outfit and hair color and stuff. It's literally Beatrice's, like her figure is exactly Beatrice, yeah.
Okay, so is this, and the person inside is Beatrice as well?
Yeah, essentially. They'll go over, like... I think they touch on it, but it's essentially like it's a white, clean slate kind of a character. So that
So does it have Beatrice's voice?
Yeah, it'll have Beatrice's voice, I'd reckon.
The original Beatrice, the
Yeah.
voice. Alright, I can be. My brain! Oh my goodness. I mean, would you be happy to just end it? I don't think we need to know who they're going.
It's up to you.
Alright. What is Beatrice's voice? Battler. Battler. Listen. I am one yet many. What I speak is our tale.
What I speak.
I was gonna say when, and I was like, that's not when, it's what. So that's what came out. When and what combined. What I speak is our tale. However, this is a small world sealed by glass and cork, with no one to hear.
I keep saying it.
What do you mean you keep saying?
I'll talk about that later.
Oh wait, glass and cork isn't the messages in a bottle?
Yeah.
None shall lay eyes upon it, and my entire tale shall be sealed away, set adrift in the sea of my heart until it disappears amongst the seaweed.
I think this one...
Is that why she's got seaweedish coloured hair? Oh, Furfur and Zephyr! Wait, Furfur is me, isn't it?
Yes.
Ah, what is this place? And who am I?
Then let me ask. Where do you want it to be? Who do you want to be?
Any place so long as it will wrap itself around me gently. Anyone so long as I am treated kindly.
Yes, for us.
For us. Where and who we are
hardly matter.
Hardly
I'm
matter.
I read it wrong at the start, and then yeah.
I swear when we're recording together we can do the in-sync stuff, but when we're not, it's so hard.
That's an interesting name.
Clairvaux Bernardus? Clairvaux Bernardus. Beatrice? There's no T. I was thinking maybe you could scramble all the names together, and all the letters together, and it would change to like Beatrice.
I'm sure there is some like hidden reference in there, but I've never actually looked it up.
Because you got the V, not the V, the X. Beatrice. No. Correct. For us, it's such a trivial matter. At least until the day comes to pass.
See, I think this character is like also that like extravagant, I'm the star of like a play kind of
So I need to be even more eccentric Beatrice?
I'd say you can be like dramatic depression kind of, you know.
Of Beatrice.
Like my tale is a tragedy of, what do you call it? Of Shakespearean proportions or something. I don't know.
Okay. Oh, I must be thrown in the path of a new fate. Fate's pronouncement was sudden and abrupt.
It wasn't the fate I'd wished for.
But it did make your heart pound.
Where will the new fate take me?
It doesn't matter where.
So long as that place is kind to us.
Oh, nice. When we were brought to the temporary dwelling where sad, parentless children gather, was that a sign of God's salvation, or a lure into the demon's game where the new fate would torment us? It's either canon or Shannon with that parentless children gather bit already, but the dramatism doesn't seem like canon.
Does it seem like Shannon?
Well, from our previous conversations, I have been leaning towards that it's Shannon. I mean, I've been leaning towards that it's canon. But it just it's canon's so different to this character and to Beatrice.
We just
actually
touched on this concept. It's fine if you still haven't wrapped your head around it just yet, but let's see where it goes.
Concept, as in when
Like
discussing
this chapter we just read,
yeah,
talking about the Beatrices,
yeah,
and like who killed Beatrice. The only one who can kill Beatrice is the person who created Beatrice or something like that.
Oh, as in Leon?
You'll see. Go
on. Okay.
I'll give you hints if you need to later.
Yep. I might just start that again. When we were brought to the temporary dwelling where sad, parentless children gather, was that a sign of God's salvation, or a lure into the demon's game, where the new fate would torment us? We have no way of knowing. And yet, we want to believe. We want to believe it was God's salvation sent to us, a sign of the Fukuin, the good news, the gospel.
We.
But why me? I have no religion.
Then it wasn't the gospel, but a demon's law.
And yet we cannot go against fate. Oh, I am one yet many. I pray that the new fate brings us blessings. The time is 1976 AD, in April. At a time still cool to be called spring. In a strange new land, we were tormented by the same stale air and drafts. Oh, interesting.
Basically reading a diary.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yep.
Recognize this song?
The theme song that you like to play.
Except this is the piano, like actual piano version.
You never uploaded my organ one.
Nah, I never will.
You never will. Why?
You need to perfect it.
Those are the family rules. They may be strict, but I believe that the discipline you learn in this house will serve you well in the future.
Yes, madam. Ooh, okay. Who do we want to narrate?
I don't know who's speaking.
This is essentially Beatrice's origin.
I don't know. Do you want to continue your narration?
Um,
Because I don't know. Because I took over narrating when it was Angie the reader.
yeah.
Does Angie come back in these later episodes, or do we never see her again?
Well, you have to finish the episodes to find out. I say you do narration because this is essentially Beatrice telling her story.
Okay. So I'll just read it as a narrator, not as Beatrice.
Yeah, you can read it as a narrator, that's fine.
Okay. The servants who would start working this April all called out in unison. The rules of the Ushirimiya family are no more or less strict than those of the Fukuin house. However,
it's fine.
However, we get paid a little money. It always does this to us.
No, I think
like
it's
this
fine
person.
for this to be like just a static
narration.
voice, yeah.
Okay.
Even though it is like technically like first person.
Yeah. They also give us a lot of help in finding our next job. We work for the Ushirimiya family, store up money, use their influence to get a good job at a good company, and start on a new happy life. That was the dream, and it was a very realistic one, held by all of us at the Fukuin house. I kind of want to read it in Shannon's voice.
You can if you want, I guess.
However, not everyone can become an Ushirimiya family servant.
Actually don't. I just remembered something. Don't do that.
Okay. Only kids with a record of exemplary conduct and good grades are recommended. So all of the kids who want to be sure of leaving the Fukuin house to live a happy life and are feverishly devoted to their studies. That's enough for today. Tomorrow you start early. Make sure the lights are all out at the appropriate time. That is all. Yes, madam.
Yes, madam. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. After bowing until Natsuhi was no longer in sight, the new servants all followed the lead of one of the more experienced servants and raised their heads. Is this Lucifer? Okay, we're done for the day. Starting tomorrow, you'll be following your shift schedule. The madam is very strict about time. If any of you sleep in, it'll be my responsibility. My throat, I can't. So if you do, I'll kick you awake. Got it? Oh no. Oh no, I can't do it after taking my asthma medication.
I know how I felt when I did Kinzo when I was sick.
Oh my goodness. It's just, I can't get my throat to... I've just taken medication to literally open my airways in my throat, and I can't get them to close up to do the voice. Let me take a sip of water. That's Satan though, right? No, not Satan. That's
Lucifer.
What is the... It's
Is
Lucifer,
it Lucifer?
isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Satan was your one, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Does that make sense to you at all?
It actually does. I don't know why I didn't think of it to begin with.
So, Beatrice modeled this, or like, viewed the stakes as previous servants she had worked with. They had worked with in the past.
Yes, that's a good point. Of course, this experienced servant was one of the older girls from the Fukuin house. She's been here for 2 years, apparently. That's probably why all the other new servants who are older than me seem to know her well. That madam looks so strict. Dang it, I'm tired. By the way, who exactly is this kid? Why were you chosen to be a servant? The older servant pointed at me and asked the room at large, a dubious look on her face. It's no surprise, really. Most of us become servants when we graduate middle school or high school. But I'm just starting elementary school. That really does sound like canon. The others will be working as servants every day of the week, according to their standard shift schedule. However, on weekdays, I was going to go to the elementary school on Nijima with Milady. It's definitely canon! Only working on weekends and when I had free time. It was an exception among exceptions, something that had never happened before. It was clear at a glance that the others, who had obtained their positions after a rigorous selection process, didn't like the fact that I was here too. Both Madame and Genji-sama have told me that you are to put your studies first. But you're still getting paid. Doesn't make any sense. If you're going to talk behind someone's back, at least do it behind them. She didn't even try to hide her discontent. Oh my goodness. Is this kid really that smart? A child prodigy or something? Who was this one? The green-haired one.
This is
it
Kitty A's one, I'm pretty sure.
Is
so Envy.
Envy. I don't remember Envy's voice.
Yeah, we always forget. I always get it mixed up with Mammon.
Yeah.
So I think you did Mammon and I probably did this one.
I think so.
I never heard anything about that. Oh my goodness.
Well, that kid supposedly gets sick easily and is kept isolated most of the time. A total outsider to the rest of us, even back at the house.
Now that you're here, you're part of the collective responsibility system. If you screw up, it's the same as everyone from the Fukuin house screwing up. Make sure you don't, okay? I nodded weakly. I feel so bad that I can't do the voice. I'd never been threatened by someone this much older than me, and I was very frightened. Don't worry. I'll be there with you. Let's give it our all together. Okay?
Doesn't make any sense.
Was her hair always that long?
Was Shannon always this old?
True, she should be younger here. I'm trying to... So could it be that Canon is actually Leon? No, I'm so confused.
I love it.
My confusion.
Struggle.
Why?
Squirm.
Well, because it could be.
It should be obvious, but yeah.
Oh, well, why would you expect obvious with me, who is like
because
Maria's
we just went over the
and...
various chapters explaining exactly the answer.
Because I'm wondering if Leon got rejected as a baby, then it could make sense that Kenzo sent the baby to the orphanage to be raised, and then that's one of the reasons why he always went and got children from the orphanage to work as servants.
No, I think I think they brought this up. I think the point is when the baby fell off the cliff, Kinzo was notified that the baby was dead.
Yes.
But because of what he had done to the baby's mother, Kumasawa and Genji, I think they took the baby and hid it.
Oh.
So you know,
Because they were worried that it might happen again.
yeah, they didn't want to repeat.
That would make sense. Because it would have been, Kumasawa would have raised granddaughter Beatrice, wouldn't she? That's why
Yeah,
you've got
they
her,
said that
like,
she basically was like a mother to her.
yeah, and that's why you've got her having that tie with Virgilia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Shannon smiled as she spoke.
Isn't Shannon scared too? This house looks pretty strict.
Nah, that's nothing scary about it. You just thought it was scary, so it got scary.
Then if I thought it was fun, would it get fun?
Yeah, it would. So here too, let's give it our all with a smile. Shannon was my only friend in the Fukuin house. She was confident and popular. The complete opposite of me. I was embarrassingly dull-witted and no one wanted to be my friend. I would never have made it through those days in the Fukuin house had it not been for her encouragement. So I would probably make it through here too, with her by my side.
Well, isn't it about time we got ready for bed? I've got work early tomorrow morning, but you have a different job.
That's right. Unlike everyone else, I have to go to school. When I spend the night in Rikenjima, I have to get ready for school and wait for Milady at the dock.
Milady looks like an energetic person. I hope you get along well.
Do you think I will? I'm so scared of school, so nervous.
Does this, like, do anything for you?
They're talking about, like, the thoughts, right?
Yeah, but why these characters?
I don't know. Well, I don't know. And they fit with the dramatic theatre we're standing on right now. A theatre stage, I mean.
The demons of love that are of different sexes.
I kind of picked that up too. Like, it's still the... like, playing on what gender is this character.
Continue.
Okay. I had grown used to life in the Fukuin house, so the more relaxed roles at school made life easy. But until I grew used to it, everything was new and everything made me nervous. I'm really curious what the original sprite for the character looks like as well. My new life on Rikenjima probably deserves an explanation. It was completely different from the comfortable yet stagnant life I'd lived at the Fukuin house. In addition to the time I spent as a servant to the Ushirimiya family on Rikenjima, I also traveled to the elementary school on Nijima on school days. It was the start of a time that was both rushed and busy, with hardly a moment to relax. I guess we're narrating as Beatrice. Unlike the time I spent at the Fukuin house, I didn't get to sleep in the same bed every day. Half of the week I slept in the servant waiting room in the Rikenjima mansion. I would return from school with Milady, go to the mansion, and work there as a servant. I would then stay the night and go to school with Milady again the next day. Did she not go to an all-girls school?
Jessica?
Yeah, I can't remember.
Don't think so.
Because there was... Well, no, there was that scene where, like, Cannon went to the classroom and Jessica got really flustered.
Yeah, because they thought it was her boyfriend.
Yeah, but if this
Angie
person
went
is...
to the all-girls school.
Sorry?
Angie went to the all-girls school.
Yeah.
And I think Jessica specifically made a point to go to, like, a mixed school. Because she didn't
co-ed.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I guess I know in some countries they're in co-ed class schools. They have like separate building for the girls and the boys, and they actually, even though it's co-ed, they don't do classes together. So maybe it was something similar to that. I just don't know why they would get excited if that person was going to school with her every day. Like they shouldn't be a stranger.
Well,
Should
this
be
is
someone that everybody knows.
they're in elementary school right now, not in high school where.
True. Yeah. Okay. When I didn't have work, I would return to the dormitory on Nijima, where I could have some time to myself in the room that I was assigned to. There was an adult dorm mother who strictly controlled meal times and lights out. But I was already used to that sort of life, so it wasn't hard for me. The rooms were slightly larger than average and housed 3 people each. However, either because of the number of people or some lucky chance, I was not given a 3-person room. Looks like we'll share a dorm room too. With Shannon by my side, I felt like I'd be able to manage well enough. Correct. Every year, new servants came from the Fukuin house, replacing some of the old ones.
It was something father worked out with the house all on his own. The rest of us weren't allowed to meddle.
And after all, our family would strictly discipline these children without families and support them on their path to adulthood. Witches I always viewed as the rich Uchiromiya family, fulfilling its obligations to society. What sort of... Oh my goodness, I can't, What sort of kids came to serve the Uchiromiya family?
I'm sure they were serious. Cute kids of irreproachable conduct.
I've lost my inner Nazi. Father, father, father! It seemed to me that there was a lot of glaring hyenas among them.
Let us say they had high ambitions. They were pitiable children without families. All were determined to use this rare opportunity to launch their careers so that they could take control of their lives.
Did all of them have to balance school and servant work?
That must be tough. You wouldn't be able to get much work done.
Oh, father, could you believe what they're saying? Before that child, there were no cases of a servant going to school while they worked.
To be honest, I was fairly surprised when that kid first came to greet me. So obviously young. The others were all around 16 or 18 years old, but that kid alone looked 10 years younger.
The one extraordinary young servant came to the family, mainly for experience. So not much was expected of that child's ability as a servant.
Indeed. You certainly couldn't rely on that kid as much as you could an adult, seasoned servant.
To think that we would accept a child who hadn't even started school. No knowledge of housework, no practical experience, and not even finished with mandatory education. I don't know what father was thinking, but I always thought there was something clearly odd about it.
I spoke to father about it. I asked if it might be better to wait for this servant to graduate middle school before starting here.
And what did Kinzo say?
Come on, we all know what he said. Oh, Beatrice!
Oh, Beatrice!
Ha ha ha. By that time, he was already a complete shut-in inside his study, obsessed with the occult.
It's not really a nice way to talk about your father.
If you tried to talk to him when he didn't want you to, he'd yell and tell you to stop interrupting the journey of his mind.
And father's decisions are absolute. However, the case of this particular child just didn't make sense.
I even asked the Fukuin house about it. They said to ask Genji-san. I then asked Genji-san, and he said to ask the master. And then you asked the master, and he said, Beatrice!
No one knows the truth.
Jessica was the only child on the island. The servants would often play with my daughter, but she wanted a friend of her own age. Someone she could play with at home, as well as at school.
I began to think that father employed this servant out of pity for Jessica. But if that were to be the case, why wouldn't he talk to us about it beforehand? We should be the ones to decide which friends are suitable for our daughter. Scary!
Not, he must have really hated taking her kid out in public. I'm just trying to wrap my own head around it. Like, whether Kinza knew who the child was or not now.
Because it's been a while since you've read this, like, the later chapters, isn't it?
Well, this was the last one I ever reread before we started.
But you read 8, right?
I have never reread 8.
Okay. Alright.
Because the way, I don't know, it sounds like he was still giving special treatment to the child. Like he wanted to keep her in. I keep screwing up everything. We should probably view this as an arrangement planned by Genji.
Probably. Genji-san knew that the me in this world carried grandfather's blood. So he probably arranged for that me to be summoned to Rokenjima.
Are you feeling okay now?
It was a really big shock, that's all. I just feel a bit dizzy now.
In this world, you're the successor. But if we move to a different world, you're a servant. Or maybe a witch. You do have a troubled fate.
Oh, we've got some lag. No kidding. Hang on, I'm just gonna close and then go back in. No kidding. I don't regret learning about it, but if I could forget it now, I would.
Isn't it interesting? Even though you're a servant, you're actually an illegitimate child of the head. Isn't that romantic, like some fairy tale?
Romantic? Considering how Mum must have felt, I'm not sure what to think.
True. In Natsuhi's eyes, the Leon of this world is nothing more than a baby she hated and was forced to raise. And in this world, she rejected that child. Natsuhi must adore her natural child, Jessica, a bunch more. A baby that doesn't share your blood is nothing more than a dirty, lukewarm sack of filth.
What is she talking about in this world? Isn't the world where they I don't know who they are, where they exist is like the parents treated them fine?
She's implying that Natsuhi, while she accepted the baby, she was still like kind of begrudgingly doing it, and she didn't really care for her.
But doesn't she care for them now?
Well, we're not Natsuhi. We can't read her mind.
Oh, I thought that's how it came across.
That's
in the beginning when we were first introduced to this world.
Yeah, that's the impression anyone would want to give from the outside, but we don't know their inner thoughts. I think that's the point.
Okay.
Vern is essentially just like doing what she did in the 5th episode. She's trying to imply something that we can just never know and state that as the truth.
Yeah, okay.
Have some decency. Next time, I'll be the one pinching your butt.
Thank you, Will. I think I understand, more or less. And that's exactly why I need to be grateful to my mother. She raised me fairly all these years.
Though, at a probability so low it'd take a miracle to happen. Animals are always brutal towards children that don't carry their blood. Lions do that too, don't they? We can probably sketch out Genji's line of thinking. The Leon of this world is a true, blood-related member of the Ushiremiya family. He must have wanted to let that child live on Rikenjima somehow. However, it wasn't as though he could just suddenly show up with Leon and tell everyone who this was.
Wait, so if they hid the baby, what was the baby that got thrown off the cliff?
The baby they hid.
But I thought Natsuhi pushed the servant off the cliff.
And then she panicked, left, assumed they were both dead. Told Genji, and then Genji covered it all up.
So did anyone actually fall off a cliff, or did they just fall over?
Someone died. The servant died. Their family was recuperating. What do you call it? What's that word?
Compensated.
Compensated, yeah.
Compensated, yeah.
So I think it's safe to assume that, yes, a servant and a child were pushed off the cliff. As a fact. But that
child was not the child of Beatrice?
That child was that child. But they didn't die. That's the whole point.
I just find that really... unless that servant, used their last, dying life, I just don't know how a baby could survive the impact.
Yeah, it'd be pretty intense, but, imagine if the servant was holding the baby, and I guess, I don't know, if the baby fell on top of the servant and then perhaps rolled a bit. Getting into this technicality is, weird, but yeah, it's not impossible to survive.
Yeah.
Probably had some injuries too.
Oh my goodness, no. Yeah. Okay. Alright, it's a story, I guess. It's fictional. We'll go with it. Yeah. Maybe he wanted me to live on the island until I was used to it, and then reveal everything when the chance presented itself.
However, the Leon of this world was not given special treatment.
The silver ring doesn't actually exist.
That face change. I wonder if that means grandfather never knew about me. Oh, he knew, Leon.
No, so this is confirming what I was just saying. They did hide it. Maybe? Yeah.
That might mean that Genji never found a good opportunity to reveal the truth.
Genji must have wanted to tell the truth one day. To tell that the orphan of Kinzo's beloved Beatrice was still alive. However, that was not an easy thing to say.
Why wasn't it easy?
Dummy! What would happen if Natsuki found out?
Oh, right. If Leon suddenly appeared, Jessica wouldn't be the successor anymore.
Strictly speaking, Jessica wasn't the successor, but since she'd be able to select the future successor, it all came to the same thing. The more one learns, the less simple this tale becomes. There were some who celebrated my birth and some who did not. Genji could only wait in silence for the proper day to reveal it all.
Was it a tale hidden only with Genji's heart?
Oh, that's me. Leon and Kinzo and Natsuki and Kraus and Jessica and everyone else. None of them knew this tale. Thus the curtains slowly rise on this curious tale in the year of 1976. Oh, I am one yet many. Why must fate abandon us and continue on in its merry way?
People only found the young servant strange for the first month.
You can keep going.
Yeah. Natsuki and Kraus's protest came to naught. After all, there was no actual harm in it. So why not indulge in Kinzo's whim? Eventually, everyone grew accustomed and began to accept this slightly abnormal everyday life.
However, it was not so for the other Fukuin servants, who were always close by and who believed that everyone should be treated equally. Their small bits of discontent over my special treatment began to accumulate as time went on.
Nice work, Sawachi. How'd it go today?
Madam was really pissed off. She was like running her fingers across the windowsills.
Yeah, and getting on Tadachi's case for cleaning slow. Come on, give us a break.
We're back in the past, so you can continue.
Okay.
Narration.
All of the kids in the Fukuin house are supposed to treat each other as family. Because of this, everyone hides their original names and uses their new blessed names. I don't know what that character is. Maybe because the kanji character is in the word Fukuin. That character is almost always combined with at least one character from the child's original name to make a new name. So maybe Non? Would it be not a Non? The character?
Non? Non?
No, just Non. Because you got Shannon, Canon, Mammon.
Non? I don't know. I'm not a kanji expert either.
Yeah, okay. Still, just giving a person a new name doesn't mean they'll accept it so easily. Boys and girls who have lived in isolation and through various trials sometimes feel as though their real first and last names are a bond that's worth holding on to. So most of the Fukuin children hate their non-names, calling each other by nicknames based on their original names. Of course, that's only done privately. When in the presence of the house director or other important people, only the blessed names are used. On the job, the blessed names are used. And off the job, informal nicknames are used. Everyone's very used to living with two names like this, so they're all comfortable with how the system works.
Whoa, you stink! Go take a shower!
Dang it, why is it so cramped in here? Can't they get a bigger dorm if they have that huge mansion?
Hey, Garshi-san! Why is Yasu the only one who isn't in the 3-person room?
By Yasu, they probably mean me. I can't remember my parents at all since they were gone as far back as my memory goes, but I was given the last name Yasuda. And apparently my nickname comes from that.
How should I know? Genji-sama is the one who decides the rooms. I don't like it either.
Yes, seriously. Wouldn't it normally go 2 and 2?
I mean, who exactly is Yasu anyway? It looks like that kid's job is going to school with Milady or something. So what, is being a school friend a profession now? Doesn't make any sense.
Of course, on days when I am given work, I return to the mansion right after school and work alongside all the others. I help with caring for the garden and cleaning up the mansion. I can't do any jobs on my own, so I'm always just helping out. Isn't it a bit cruel to have, like, your successor come back in a servant capacity? It's...
Well, they didn't... Kinzo didn't know.
Yeah.
Genji wanted to keep them close, because he's like, well, they're technically family, so it's kind of...
But if they were worried about Genji doing the same thing...
Genji?
I mean, not
Kinzo?
Genji, Kinzo. Then wouldn't it have something to do with the way that the child looks as well? Because it was the similarity to Beatrice. Didn't they say that Beatrice, well, like, child Beatrice when
She grew to look like pretty much exactly like her mother.
Yeah, was like a, basically like a doppelganger is what I sort of understood from it. So if the genes are, like, really strong, like, he might have seen a similarity between the two, I don't know.
Well, I mean, just the fact that of what Kinzo did is enough to, like, be like, yeah, I don't trust this guy, so...
That's very true. No, that's very true. In terms of, like, child safety, the child would be removed in that situation. That's, yeah, no, that's true. Because the author's like a, didn't they work with, wasn't the author like a social worker at one point?
Yeah, he was, I think he was a social worker, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And you see, did you watch the trailer I sent you? Silent
You
Hill.
sent me a lot of trailers. How long ago was this?
Like, a couple days ago.
You sent me a trailer of a Silent Hill game.
Yeah, Silent Hill.
Yeah.
He's doing the writing for that.
Oh, I didn't put the two and two together because I don't remember the author's name.
Ryukishi he's got 07 at the end of his name, so he always remembers.
I was interested. I was like, why is there a 07 at the end of the name? I did see that.
Because his, what do you call it? He's, is it his company? Like, 7th expansion is his thing.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. I was like, they just got like an internet right? I don't know. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Okay. Fair enough. Maybe because I'm young, the adult servants are always kind to me. My fellow Fukuin servants don't seem too happy about that, though.
Don't you think Kumasawa-san's obviously soft on Yasu? It's like she's mistaken Yasu for her own grandchild or something.
And why on earth does that kid get paid the same as the rest of us? I don't get it.
I realize that you have school to worry about. But don't forget that you're a servant too, okay? You need to stop being a helper and learn to do work by yourself like the rest of us. We aren't going to let you take it easy forever, okay?
I have been trying my best. However, I'm not very strong yet, so I can't carry heavy things. I can't carry a lot of things either. Poor kid. I can't fold clothes right, and I'm not good at using a dustpan. I just can't do it as well as everyone else. As my face turned red, I spotted Shannon, who was watching from the sidelines and not joining in. Shannon is my only ally. Unlike me, she can do everything well. However, she'll never pamper me. She'll show me how things are done, but she'll never steal my jobs from me. She really is incredible. I really want to be like Shannon as soon as I can. She never talks behind people's backs, and no one talks behind her back. She's kind and she gets along with everyone. I want to be like her. And she's always kindly watching over my efforts to become like her. Why did I end up here? I don't know. Though I'd just been muttering to the ceiling. Shannon gave me an honest answer.
I guess there's no way to say it, except that it's part of God's plan.
Is this another test from God?
Yep. Think of it as a test to help you grow into a wonderful human being. After all, you're a special, chosen person.
Am I special?
Of course you are. After all, everyone else here is huge, but you are the only one special enough to be chosen young.
Why am I the only one who's little? I can't do any jobs by myself. Everyone complains that I'm just there to play with Milady. And yet Madam made it clear that I am not to think of Milady as a friend, or speak to her in a casual manner.
You may be 10 years younger than everyone else. But that means if you keep it up until you're the same age as the others, you'll be much more experienced than the new people who come later. Even Genji-sama will acknowledge your talents, and you'll become a leader who can teach the new kids who come from the Fukuin house. And then I'm sure that everyone will respect you. By that time, Even Madam, the Master, and Kraus Summer will acknowledge your skills. That's your future.
So why is Kraus is just a Kraus Summer, but you've got Madam and Master? What's the translation there? I wonder.
Well, I guess the master is Kinzo, right?
Yeah.
And Kinzo doesn't have like a wife figure.
Wait, what? Because Kinzo doesn't have a wife?
I don't know. Like both of his partners are dead, right?
Yeah.
I think. Actually, I have no idea about his other wife.
Because they didn't... Oh, no, they did have children. They had lots of babies.
1, 2, 3, 4.
She must be dead then, because we never see her in any of the
Yeah, I
games.
think it might have been like a passing comment a few times that she was dead.
Yeah, okay. You mean like the ugly duckling becoming a swan?
That might be it. After all, it was very unusual for you to be chosen as an Ushirimiya family servant. In fact, that rumor might be true. And you might be the secret child of someone in the Ushirimiya family.
Shannon laughed, saying,
Wouldn't that be cool? And then you'd be super rich too.
but that didn't seem quite right to me. After all, if that was the case, why would I have to live all alone here in the Fukuin house? Shannon and people like the house director are the only ones who will play with me. I don't have other friends to play with, and I've spent all my time by myself, in my isolated room. Maybe it's because I'm frail and always sleep a lot, but it has been lonely. Hey, Genji! Exactly how much did you know?
You never talk about anything, but you've known everything since the beginning, haven't you? "19 years ago, you heard from Natsuhi that a servant had fallen from a cliff holding a baby.
You went to the bottom of that cliff and realized that the baby was still alive, didn't you?
I was not qualified to determine whether it was alive or dead. Then who was?
The doctor, of course!
What do you say, Dr. Nanjo?
Nanjo? Are you certain? Is it all right for me to speak?
If you are willing to tell the story yourself, then I ask it of you.
Very well. I was contacted by Genji-san immediately after the accident and asked to conduct an examination in secrecy.
In secrecy?
Why? Both the Beatrice of Kuwadorian and her child were unregistered people who weren't supposed to exist. It would lead to various problems if it went public.
I had started the procedures to have the baby registered, but they were not complete at that time. It was a very unfortunate time for the baby to die.
So, the servant who fell was treated as having died alone in the accident?
Not that he wouldn't talk to anyone. It would have been easy to set up.
But that baby was alive, wasn't it? Correct. Of course, the child was gravely injured. It was a miracle that it survived that wound. If the angle had been slightly different, or if Genji-san had been any slower in carrying the baby to me, that baby only managed to survive thanks to a series of miracles. Castle!
I had given up. I didn't believe the baby could have survived that.
But it did!
How strong and resilient is life?
No! This is fate!
Fate! So the baby was fated to live on and eventually accomplish something great. Yes, I did think it was fate. I thought the blood of the Kuwadorian Beatrice Summer, whose life ended on Rekenjima, must have imparted something onto this child to make it survive.
However, Genji did not tell his master Kinzo that the child had survived. He simply said that it had fallen to its death in an unfortunate accident. Kinzo mourned, but his mourning was more one of madness than sorrow. Wait, does that mean he thought that the grandchild was another reincarnated Beatrice? Surely not.
I wouldn't say so. I don't think I got that impression. I think it's just more so like his love died. He did something terrible to his daughter, and then his daughter died. And then he's just heard that his child, whatever has also died, so he's kind of just like, wow, my life sucks. And he's just like regretting everything. So I think that's when he started getting into like the occult stuff.
Yeah.
Like, he may have been into it before when, like, the original Beatrice died. But I think they're saying that, like, once he thought the final baby was dead, he was, like, straight up just went mad.
Couldn't take it anymore.
He went crazy.
Oh, Beatrice, why have you run away from me once more?
Why, even though I swore I'd never make the same mistake again, why? There was only one matter in which Genji did not trust the master he so respected. That matter was whether Kinzo would be capable of accepting Beatrice's grandchild as her grandchild. Genji had served the Kuwadorian Beatrice for many years as well. He was very aware of what she had felt. He knew that she had accepted the favor Kinzo had bestowed on her and respected him as a father. What favor? However, her love was not the same as Kinzo's love. Kinzo thought her to be Beatrice reborn. Is this kind of like drawing a parallel to the chick Beatrice and Battler bit, where
that's
she's like, father,
drawing a parallel to this. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Because
So that was
like,
kind
don't
of
call
like
me
a,
father.
yeah, that's kind of like a hint from that episode.
Okay. However, her love was not the same as Kinzo's love. Kinzo thought her to be Beatrice reborn, and had tried to use her to satisfy the many feelings he had felt for the late Beatrice. Of course, the Kuwadorian Beatrice could not accept those feelings. In the end, she had her chastity stolen by the one she thought of as her only family and respected as father.
She thought he was her father, and he thought she was his wife.
Oh, what irreconcilable forbidden love!
This is not to say that I was incapable of understanding how Kinzo-sama felt. At the moment of her birth, even he did not plan on taking advantage of her, due to her resemblance to the late Beatrice-sama.
He even spoke to me a few times when we were drinking. I always thought he was just joking.
Was he surprised to find that the daughter grew to look more and more like the mother?
As the daughter grew, did he suffer from a forbidden emotion he couldn't suppress?
I thought that he might commit the same mistake again. That was my view. So we shouldn't have spent like 20 minutes talking about this stuff that are going through all of
True.
Beatrice-sama suffered much, and yet she never truly understood the difference between her feelings and Kinzo's. Beatrice-sama consulted me many times, laying bare her deepest feelings. However, I was unable to tell her. That would be hard to say.
Imagine telling her that the one she respects as a father wants to use her as a replacement for her dead mother. Let me say this for the sake of Kinzo-san's honor. He also suffered greatly. I think you're just making excuses now, Nanjo. It pained him when he found that he could no longer think of his daughter as a daughter. I told him to love her as a father. I think Kinzo followed his logic and conscience and fought for quite some time. Kinzo loved her. He poured his affection onto the daughter that Beatrice had left behind. He did so as a father. And yet, if so, why did he give the daughter the same name as the mother? Yes, Kinzo's sin started from the moment she received life. She was born and Beatrice died. He passed the name down from mother to daughter. From the moment of her birth, Kinzo had already decided that she was Beatrice reborn.
So, then we get Leon. Kinzo, trying to atone for his sin, tried to make Leon a proper member of the Ushiremiya family. Exactly. I get the feeling I'll get my butt pinched if I talk about other fragments. But what if there was a fragment where Leon is accepted and Kinzo commits the same sin again? I want to see if we can find one of those.
Oh, that's just evil. Burncastle, I don't think she was that devious.
She...
She is. She's a devious character, but Ah,
We have seen what Erica, her double, does,
true,
or is
true.
capable of.
Who would want to see something like that? Is this your job, mixing up the worst possible delusions and possibilities for every part of a person's life and sneering at them?
Unfortunately, that's the sort of demon she is.
How rude. I'm a witch.
I thought she was like one of your favorite characters.
Yeah, I like Ben.
She's so evil.
Am I not allowed to like evil characters? It's like people love the Joker so much.
I guess there's that perspective.
Genji foresaw that worst of all possible futures and trying to secure a better future. He intentionally lied about the baby being dead.
Right. Kinzo was a man so impulsive that he used his own daughter. Genji, who knew Beatrice's feelings and felt sympathy for her, couldn't trust Kinzo so easily.
Even Genji, Kinzo's most devoted servant.
Genji draws a clear line between the professional and the personal. While he served Kinzo faithfully, he also felt that the mistake Kinzo had made with his daughter was not one to be forgiven easily.
Could be. And to make sure that Leon wouldn't be found out easily, Genji lied about the kid's age, lowering it by 3 years.
Wait. Lowering it by 3 years? So how old did we say Canon was?
So they said Canon was 19. No. They said Jessica was 19, and I was saying that they were around the same age. So...
No, but in
Here,
this world,
Leon's...
Jessica is 18, isn't she?
No, I'm pretty sure they just...
Oh, wait, no, but no, Canon
18,
has to be
yeah.
19. Yeah, sorry. That's a good point. In this world, I'm just entering elementary school in 1976. I was actually supposed to become a 4th year then.
See, that was, that actually did cross my mind when they were talking about, the servant going to school with Jessica, who had just started. So I was like, because they did mention that they were 10, and I was like, 10 seems a bit old to be starting elementary school, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that's true.
If your frailness wasn't the reason, then Genji must have been careful to disguise the year of your birth. Not only Kinzo, but also Natsuhi wouldn't easily forget the baby from 19 years ago. If a suspiciously young servant of that age came to the island, Natsuhi's woman's intuition would definitely have picked up on it.
Had the child been too sick to go to school for 3 years? Or had the age been faked, so that Natsuhi wouldn't figure everything out?
Either way, we know that your age has been lowered by 3 in this world.
Correct. The age of this world, Leon, has been altered by 3. This is a small, feeble kid we're talking about. An underdeveloped kid. He would have been more possible to pull off than you'd think.
Genji decided to wait and see. In the end, would Kinzo be able to accept Beatrice's child as an actual child or not? He had the child live in the Fukuin house until a suitable age, and then summoned the child to the island as a servant. Both father and child had no clue who the other was. Genji had an idea. If Kinzo truly felt affection as a parent, he would notice traces of that deceased mother and daughter in this child. Yeah, that's what I was asking about earlier. That way, they would surely regain their parent-child relationship without anyone having to expose the truth to them. Oh, Genji. I don't think that works. That's what he thought. Or perhaps the time might come naturally. When that happened, he could tell the truth to both father and child. Believing that this day would eventually come, Genji told nothing of this to anyone. Wouldn't Kumasawa have figured out stuff as well?
I assume Kumasawa knew.
He watched over Beatrice's child, waiting for the fated day. And time continued to pass. Days slid by as he quietly watched over Beatrice's child.
Chapter 1.
That's the end. Wait, what do you mean chapter 1?
Of the book we're reading.
Oh, true. New life.
What was it? 8 or 9 chapters? I can't remember. Or 10.
Will it go to the next chapter to show us the
9.
book page? 9. So what have we got? The first friend?
First friend. Who was the first friend?
It wasn't Shannon? I mean, yeah, it wasn't Shannon? Jessica? Or one of the stakes?
We have
We have what?
So yeah, there's like stuff that you like are like, oh yep, I understand it. And then like we have more stuff and you're like speaking as though you never understood the first thing. Shannon, why is Shannon the same age back then and now?
Wait, what do you mean? Why is Shannon the same age then?
Shannon is like 19 in old Rekenjima. And then, like, in our stories we've been reading, she's 19.
Yeah.
Following?
So, are you saying that Shannon doesn't exist? And it's a figment of their imagination?
So I kept going on about why... I can't believe you can't remember that, Shannon blue screen of
because
death.
they're sharing the... Well, we could go from this point. So, they were complaining that it should be, like, 2-on-2 for the room. So, is it just that this Beatrice unknown child has a room to themselves, but it's shared with Shannon, but it's actually just one person there?
I believe so. I think that's what I got from it.
Okay.
I'm still, like... I don't know, because we're getting to the point where even I'm getting, like, some things, like, mixed up and all that. Well, there were some things I never, like, fully clarified and understood. So I think it's possible that there was a Shannon that existed. And it was just, like, this kid looked up to Shannon and everything. And then, like, once they grew up, they took on the persona of Shannon.
That would make sense because of them talking about how much they wanted to be like Shannon.
It's either that, or Shannon from the beginning was just like their ideal, who they wanted to become.
It was like the literal embodiment of copium.
Yeah, it was like... I think I just got the impression that, like, when, we'll see in future chapters, but I think I had the impression that, Shannon didn't really talk around the other servants. So I felt like it was because she was a figment of the child's imagination, essentially.
Yeah, okay.
And why they didn't butt in to like help him out.
And it's not that outlandish of an ideal because we had the stakes that were friends with Anji. And you had Maria with her, I forgot its name.
Sakutaro?
Yeah, Sakutaro.
So there was also, with the blue screen of death, Shannon, from earlier in the episode. That happened because Will wanted to call Cannon and Shannon together and to have a discussion about something.
Oh, you know what? When you asked about the blue screen, I was thinking of Jessica for some reason.
You what?
I was thinking blue screen of death for Jessica. I sort of remember now. It's coming back to me.
Yeah. Does that not... Do you not get it?
What do you mean, do I not get it?
Why she couldn't bring Cannon?
Because the two can't exist in the same place together.
And why is that?
Because they're probably one and the same.
And then yet you go and say, it's Cannon. Yeah, it's definitely Cannon. Look, Shannon's here. And I'm just like, what is going on in your head right now?
Because you always question and you make me confused.
No, I have not been questioning this. I've been trying to point you in the right direction here.
You're like, is it Chiru? Is it Cannon? Like, who could it be?
That was in like episode 5 and 6. Now I'm just like, oh my gosh. You just said it. Why are you like backtracking?
Too many red herrings. I can't deal with them all.
Alright. Well, we'll continue Yasu's journey later, I guess.
Okay.